On behalf of all of Broncos Country, congratulations to the Chargers and the Chiefs on competing for second place in the AFC West, because the Broncos are about to run away with this as we get phenomenal news on the injury front. Dre Greenlaw is back and better than ever. Also get fantastic news about the left guard position and why we should not be discouraged about the Jets game on Saturday. We get news about this game against the Giants. So much more we got to break down. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me in the algorithm out a ton if you like the Broncos. If you would smash that like button as hard as Dre Greenlaw is about to smash Cam Scatterboo, let's dive into it. So the news of the day, of course, is that really our bell of free agency, Dre Greenlaw, is back, activated here. His 21-day to return window is open, but I think that means he's actually playing on Sunday. We're going to get to that in a second, but this is absolutely phenomenal news. He practiced, full participant in practice. Sean Payton said he looked great. Pat Surtain said he looked great in his first practice back. We see some highlights here of him just doing a scoop and score drill here where he's just picking that ball up. His arms are really like the size of my thighs. This dude is looking phenomenal. Now, the reason why we know last week the Broncos, Malcolm Roach played for the first time, even though he was activated an entire week before that. But Dre Greenlaw was on that East Coast road trip to Philly and to London and was like the guy most hyping dudes out in and out of the tunnel, which makes me feel like he was close enough to being back that the Broncos didn't leave him to continue to rehab, which makes me just feel like he is hyped to go. I was listening to another Broncos podcast, and the creator was talking about how he was sitting in the stands and watching him, and he almost had that look in his eyes like, this is the last time I have to miss. And if he was like borderline maybe not going to play, or it's going to take 3 more weeks for him to come back, he doesn't go to London and to Philly and do the time change and all that kind of stuff. He stays back and rehabs all the way. Jonathon Cooper came out and was like, hey, we already have the best defense in the league by like a country mile, and having Dre Greenlaw back is going to take us to another level. I didn't even know that another level was possible. All we've been hoping for is like, hey, can we maybe keep this level all the way through? Because if we play a whole season like this, this will be full stop the best Denver defense in the history of the team. I know we don't have the takeaways of the no-fly zone, but you're talking 3 games this year. We haven't even let an opponent score a touchdown on us. Yes, the Jets scored 11 points on us, but one of those drives, they had 3 total net yards of offense on that and kicked a field goal after the Troy Franklin fumble. One of them was a safety. The other one was after a massive punt return. The Broncos defense has been absolutely wild, which I'm vibing with Kinlay here, where he's like, hey, this is like putting the Thanos ring in here. The Broncos are going to be just wild. And I think the reason it takes us to another level is not only does he do stuff that we can't do, like guard a tight end right now. On top of that, he brings this tone of intensity that reminds me of Aqib Talib. He's 1,000% the type of player on your defense who's going to be snatching chains off of dudes. He suplexes guys. He is just the absolute alpha dog on every field that he steps on. He marks his territory immediately. I'm sure that field is going to smell like Dre Greenlaw's pee by the end of it. And I'm just wildly hyped because of not only the level of play that he has, but of the tone setting that we don't have. Like Nick Bonitto and Jonathon, like I guess Jonathon Cooper sets a tone and is like a mean guy, but Nick Bonitto reminds me of Von Miller in that like he does funny, goofy dances, even though he's the best in football at what he's doing right now. I love this mean personality that this is going to bring to our defense, and the fact that he's been the Broncos' biggest cheerleader over these couple of weeks, where a lot of guys on IR, they don't go on that trip. They definitely contractually don't have to. Dre Greenlaw is a fantastic player, a Pro Bowl player. Ryan Russillo's list had him as a top 5 linebacker if he's healthy, and you had a top 5 linebacker to the best defense in football. And what are we even talking about, guys? The Broncos are going to be playing football in February if we stay healthy throughout the year. This is incredible, because on top of Dre Greenlaw, we have just a plethora of pass rushers that any other team would kill to have. We see the Broncos have had back-to-back AFC defensive players of the week announced. Last week it was Nick Bonitto. This week it is Jonathon Cooper. That is fantastic, because you know who else is out there? The defensive player of the year last year in the whole NFL, not just the AFC. And so this is pretty cool. Hit me up in the comments. A lot of people on Twitter are asking, we need a nickname for this duo with Bonitto and Cooper. Someone come up with a cool duo for Bonitto and Cooper. Drop it in the comments here. Just seeing the plethora of riches that we have here, seeing that you not only have the guys who are leading the league in quarterback hits, and obviously sacks here with Bonitto getting a sack on 6% of his snaps. So that is just just ridiculous. But you're seeing here that actually Jonathon Cooper has the fastest get off in football. He is off of the line 0.72 seconds after the ball is snapped. That type of reaction is just wild, and you're seeing that it's Myles Garrett level reaction time there, and Benito coming in second place here at a 0.76, so obviously the human eye can't even distinguish the difference there. All right, we got a ton more to break down, but real talk for a second here. Between a full-time job, coaching 3 of my kids in different sports, trying to get them just where they're supposed to be on time, I'm basically living out of my car most days, and that is where these have been an absolute lifeline for me and for my entire family. While our favorite football team is just chomping through the month of October, I'm chomping through some Chomps. These are my absolute go-to snack and the go-to snack of my entire family. I throw them in my laptop bag. I throw them in my kids' bag on their way to school. The cutest story, my first grade daughter came to me the other day and was like, "Dad, you'll never guess what. At snack, I was eating a Chomp, and I looked up and my teacher was also eating a Chomp." My entire family absolutely love it. And what's not to love? You were talking about 0 grams of added sugar, 10 grams of protein, and they're absolutely delicious, and it's hard to even just eat one. My favorite flavor is definitely the barbecue, the smoky barbecue, but man, Chomps are the absolute best. You can get them in 30,000 stores nationwide, or you can get them in the link in my description. You will not regret chomping down on some Chomps. So just love that, and then loving the vibes just in Broncos country. I don't remember following a team where everyone just cares about the team more than they care about themselves. How many times have we seen a player get named to the top 100 and the entire defense is retweeting it and saying, like, let's go? Seeing Zach Allen being one of the first people to retweet the Broncos announcement that Jonathon Cooper won Defensive Player of the Week with the flexing emoji. Like, this team is playing for each other, and it is a wildly amazing thing. Now, the Broncos have the Giants, a team that we thought looked like just a pushover, and then they've won 2 of the craziest games in the NFL. They beat the the Eagles, and they beat the Chargers. Those are 2 really good teams, and so I was worried after being jet lagged, after playing 5,000 miles and flying and all that kind of stuff. I was worried the Broncos might look past this, and I'm hopeful that they're not, on a number of reasons. Obviously, I think Dre Greenlaw coming back gives this defense that type of energy. I also think the Broncos offense getting dragged through the mud all week after that Jets game is going to give them like an intensity. But Cortland Sutton mentioned this is the week where the Broncos honor Demaryius Thomas, which is a phenomenal thing. I cannot wait to watch that and see 88 all over the field there. But in addition to that, they're bringing back the no-fly zone to honor Demaryius Thomas and that whole Super Bowl 50 defense. And so, our defense is like, hey, we've been compared to you guys. We want to put our best thing. Like, Aqib Talib is watching me play. I want him to see awesome things. So I think that the Broncos are going to be coming and turning the energy on. I think they watched Thursday Night Football and saw Scadaboo and Jackson Dart on that press set afterwards for an hour and a half, and Scadaboo took off his shirt on national TV, and I think the Broncos are like, all right, we're going to shut these guys up quick and in a hurry, so it makes me really, really excited. Other reason I'm hyped for Sunday is that our offense, we did not like what we saw by any stretch of the imagination on Sunday, and we saw left guard just being a real problem, and we heard some good news on that. And so we know last night after I made my video, Matt Peart was placed on the injured reserve. He's done for the entire year. And so that really is going to explain a lot of what we saw on offensive line, that you had your left guard, Matt Peart, playing with a torn MCL most of the game. He played 3 healthy plays, and this is the play where he gets rolled up on. So you're going to see here, he is right here, and you're going to see this guy who Bo Nix shrugged off. That was a sick play there. This is the one where Troy Franklin actually fumbles. He gets rolled up on, tears his MCL, and continues to play an entire game of football. And if that sounds like a little bit familiar, it's what Alex Singleton did last year. And I can just tell you, there are not other teams where that happens. And McGlinchey came out and just defended Matt Peart and said, this guy got his MCL torn, and he didn't even ask to have it looked at. So he played with one knee basically that entire game. And so that is explaining a lot of what we saw on Sunday, which makes you just wildly hyped. Now, I think I totally agree with what Zach Sagers was saying, is that we're like, man, if that is our best option, we are in big trouble until Ben Powers comes back. Well, obviously that is not our best option, but that was our option that we had prepped for and were ready for. Sean Payton with an entire week of football, he said they have a very, very good option at left guard. He's keeping the answer close to his chest. We don't know, is that going to be Throckmorton? Is that going to be Paltrow going in there? Is that going to be this new cat we just signed out of Michigan, Barnhart? We don't know what that's going to be, but Sean Payton said he feels very, very comfortable about it, which makes me feel comfortable as well. And whatever option that is, it is interesting to note that that truly is the Broncos' fourth option at left guard, because everyone thinks Matt Peart was our second option. He truly was our third option, because one of the bigger injuries that we had during the offseason was, do you guys remember Nick Gargiulo, who was, by all accounts, he was the backup guard for both Quinn Meinerz and Ben Powers. And so he really was option number 2. So then Matt Peart would be option 3. And then whoever goes in on Sunday is option number 4. So for one of the healthiest teams in football over these past couple years under Sean Payton to be on your fourth option here, but Sean Payton is feeling confident about it. I'm feeling confident about it. We got Defensive Player of the Week, Jonathon Cooper, salute. We got Dre Greenlaw back in the building. This is going to be nasty, you guys. The Broncos have a fantastic opponent here. You have a team with a rookie quarterback coming to play the best defense in football, bar none. They're playing in front of the no-fly zone, honoring Demaryius Thomas on Sunday. It is going to be a popcorn-worthy performance. I cannot wait to watch. Broncos Country, let me know how hyped you are about our future. We're playing deep into January. Clear your schedule. Don't go on vacations in January or February, because the Broncos are making a deep run in the playoffs, and that's something you should all believe in.